evening, viewers and listeners. On behalf of the National Elections Watch, I welcome you back to the recommendation series we come up every Friday. Say new we observe the 2023 elections and they come up with 43 recommendations. Some of the recommendations here, they classify them as priority recommendations. So for a lot of people know the recommendations there and what they really think about the recommendations here, and for even prefer further recommendations on how to implement the recommendations there, we get them discussion series there, so that people will understand the recommendations here very well. And we don't do the recommendations here, we don't discuss the recommendations, they are direct to government, and also don't begin to do the recommendations will be direct to the Ecsl, that is the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone. And for today's discussion, we can look at one of the priority recommendations will be direct to the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone. And this recommendation now this: the Ecsl should fully display its tally processes and procedures to political parties and international and domestic observer groups in all tally centers. These recommendations, they say the Ecsl therefore make sure they display all the tally processes and procedures in all the tally centers during elections. And for every can talk about these recommendations, we get people already done involved in the elections for a very long time, and they get even a wealth of experience. We get our own Reverend James Lahai, when at the National Coordinator of National Elections Watch, and also now the chairman of AFUNET, when at the African Election Observation Group, we're based in Uganda. So he gets a wealth of experience, so he can help me discuss this thing. Then we also get Juliet Anderson. Juliet Anderson within the National Elections Watch, now see as we tally observer expert. Now they observe almost all the tally processes then for all the elections that we knew don't really observe, both in Freetown and up country. So instead there for help me talk about this stuff. Juliet, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Kamara.
Yeah. We also get a colleague, Abdul Karim Samura, in as the district coordinator for National Elections Watch for Putloko District. Instead to help you online, instead get a wealth of experience because instead to observe the tallying process at different parts of the region where we live. So instead today for help we can talk for this thing. Mr. Samura, welcome and good evening. Then for make sure we get the African perspective to this thing they can talk about the openness and transparency of this tally process. We also get a colleague, when Henry Mukusi, in the coordinator and also head of the Secretariat of AFUNET. This secretariat based in Uganda. The next step don't observe elections in all parts of Africa. So they said they can share the perspective of their observation with regards to these recommendations when new the week. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you and I thank you for share your perspective by these recommendations. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, let me start with Reverend James Lahai. As I say, Reverend gets a wealth of experience. He only observe their processes there for a very long time. And as I also said in the opening, we do then discussion there for let people understand exactly what are their processes there and how they do an electoral process. So now people they discuss their recommendations. So Reverend, a lot of people don't read this thing. tally process. But some people are not even understand waiting at this process, how important this process is, and at what level of electoral process this tally process they can. So just one way, just give me an insight. Waiting at this tally, and at what level where it dey come, and wetin make am important. One let tell me.
Well, where they talk about elections and they say tally process. Tally process, now that process where then they make sure say all man, the number of people who vote for you, they're able to account for them, the number of people who vote for the other person, and then the one that way they vote, they're not able to determine who that they vote for. Now in a tally process. Then they try for a process where they determine almost people they vote, who that they vote for, and who votes them will count. It will also help for know how many people vote in all and how many people be supposed to vote. This process here, now from the polling station, it starts. Who side people that they go vote. Normally, when the people they vote, then they go back and they host them. They don't know nothing again, what's they happen after that vote day. So the only way where they able to know now where that they get people where they be the yai at that polling station. Therefore, every political party or candidate, they get person who side that they count. So now that counts then they make sure say they check all the ballot paper they would be give out for let people they vote. Then they make sure say all the ballot paper they would have cut, almost for them ballot paper, not be go inside the ballot box. Then they call spoiled ballots. They don't cut and come out the book, but because of one reason or the other, they not put inside the box. That day they call a spoiled ballot. They get inside and they put up. And then like you don't check now, almost ballots all where they be the polling station. And for them ballots where they be the polling station, how many they pull inside the book? And for them where they pull inside the book, how many go inside the box? When they don't lay down, they all man don't understand. Then they go now, they open the ballot box with all man there and they watch and see what's they happen. So then they turn the ballot box now, the results there, and then ballot paper there, now the table. We all man snap the watch. They try now for put them ballot paper then they according to who that they vote for. And who swap for the ballots there, where they're not able for no, who that this person here one vote for. When a them ballot box, them ballot votes and then they call void ballot or invalid ballot paper. Either the person and not make any mark at all, wait for make let people they know say now this person one vote for, or the person he mark past one person. And so they're not going to know, but then people they way don't mark who that is one for vote for. Or it puts the mark where the mark not the one side no more, it go to the other side the way we are not going to know, but then people are who that really the one for vote for. Then one day they put the mark separate, they call them void ballots. And then they open them now one by one. If now two people snap for the election, now that they open up this ballot paper, now who that they vote for, they show all man, then they lay up. This one, who that they vote for, they lay up. Where they don't lay up, don't they count out the counts. That counts where they count now, it will make let people they know almost vote. Each of them two people they get for them ballot they will be there inside the box. And almost for them ballot they will be there inside the box. where they not able to know who they want for vote for. Then they enter them figure the day for the paper where they give them for entering. And then all the people that were inside that part, county center, more the political party eyewitness them. Then they let them sign for sure say yes. Then over where the presiding officer don't enter as the result. Would they will see and incorrect. They all sign. Then they cut the first one. Now they put them back na the commission you. They cut the other one where then they give each of the people they will contest for that election. And then the one they take them, they paste them by the wall. That are for the people that will not be there inside the county center, they say get chance for let them see because a public document. After whether they don't done, then they take that results now, they bring that to the district level for the Salon case. And what is expected for be done, will not to be happy in your own case for this election. At that district level, therefore begin now then for look at all the results then will come out from every constituency from their polling stations. Then they check now every polling station, how many person vote for this candidate A, how many vote for this candidate B, how many people will vote where they don't even know who that they vote for, and how many for the ballot paper there where the court will not be there inside the box. Now they were at that district level, now they calculate and all man they see. And when all man they see that they do, the district self now, they enter, then comes there, they add all now. They enter and by the paper outside for enter, and then the political party, the agents there, whether they watch for the candidates there or for the political party there, then they sign back for say yes. Then result they are where they don't add, will come out from their polling station and all the constituencies. Now this it amounts to. They said they sign. From yonder, they for now the regional Tallying center. Now the regional Tallying center, they don't work not really too much if they do the tally at the district level. Now the regional Tallying center, then they take no more now. All that will not come out now all the districts there. If you take like for Eastern region, or maybe you will say Western region. Western region, now 2 districts there. Western rural district and Western urban district. Then they look no more now, that Tallying sheet will not come out now Western rural urban, and the one will not come out now Western rural, Western urban. Then other. Then they don't say, for this region, this candidate, now this is get. This candidate, now this is get. This, now in the votes, they will know who that they vote for. This, now them votes, they will they put the ballot paper, but they not put it inside the box. So at that stage, what you go make people then sign, they believe say they don't sign what's happy. Now whether they see every figure whether they add, when they take Western rural, they take Western urban, then they say Western rural, candidate A, now this he gets. All my watch now the paper and she say, now that day, then they enter. Candidate B, now this he get. All my C say, yes, now this he get. Then add, then put them total like this. From that regional level now, they go to the national level. And the national level, they say they open no triangle. They just take what's in common each region, they add other. But what in this recommendation we talk about, now that when they add other, then result they are when they come out at the police station there. Now for make any figure they call for saying now this figure, when I put and let people they see. So that when they add, the people they said they aim for add. And the people there, since that self gets then the same result there, when the presiding officer, they don't give them, and the district returning officer, they don't give them, and the regional returning officer, they don't give them. When they call the figure, and when they see them, then they check. Then they go to say, yes, this figure will get, what will all be signed, and then they put. So that they make confusion already say. Because you know, say, what you don't put on an higher get. So by the time where then they calculate all things done, now in Liberia, the Electoral Commission not announce result. Then President, we are. Then President, we are say, I congratulate you, Mr. Bokar. Now you don't win this election. That time the Electoral Commission did not announce itself. What you make that happy? Because all man they see how their result they had they come, and that people who are get, and that people now they come. So now in a real time now you know say this I don't sabi. So when all man sabi confusion no go dey say. Boss no go say same again. No, no go result down. But if now you know how they put the figure by yourself, and they tell you say make us see the figure now, then you say no, the law say. And the law not tell yourself to show the figure.
Thank you so very much. I feel say based on what you don't tell me so, we viewers and listeners who don't know the importance of this process. And really, if the process will go according to how for God, I know this is a problem there. Because nothing not change from starting from the constituency. Where they don't do calculations there. Where go now the district now for just make sure say waiting really come on at the constituency. Now in really then at the box. There lost to take go. So thank you very much. Juliet, you now one person way in the National Tally Center in the Western area. And quite apart from that, most of the elections they can get, you na person who can always stay at the Tally Center, beside the tallying process they take place. Now, new don't come up with this recommendation, say, let the ECSL display the tallying process and also the procedures. You, as person who don't see, who don't observe this process, is surprised by this recommendation when you think up. If you're surprised, why? But if you're not surprised again, why? Tell me why.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. You know, me now one person we are so happy for this particular recommendation. This particular recommendation meets or they play around so many apprehensions then, where some man go believe, some man no go believe. But again, this particular recommendation, I think say, na the bone of contention. Election cannot begin fine. But when it comes to the tallying process, they all things will begin to turn. Because now the tallying center, you get different type of people there. Now, if you go to the national, now the National Tally Center, you forget regional officers there, where they represent all the 5 regions there. They can always come later. You get the regional returning officer, you get the regional chief, you even get the district returning officer, you get Tally Center coordinators there, you get regional IT officer, you get IT assistant, shift managers, area supervisors, intake supervisor, intake team, data entry supervisor, first data entry clerk, second data entry clerk. You know, a lot of processes and procedures there now involved the National Tally Center. But it all depends if, like what's in the recommendation say, if they display the different steps were involved in the tallying process. But if you go to Tally Center, you don't see anything where for make you know, say, oh, this is Tallying Center. Or now this thing I can look for. And then you will begin to doubt. I think say the process is a very long. And by elections, then it may look simple small, then by elections, then, because they go display the different areas them. When I go sit down and they look, when the dashboard, when the results, then they come.
And what do you mean the by elections?
For by elections.
Projector.
Then the projector. For by elections, all by elections, who me to observe, then the projector. And that projection there again, and then some man can say, ah, not what this number gets. Some again can say, no, this is not correct. You know, now from there, you begin see the accuracy of the electoral process. So it's very, very important when we talk about tallying. And the tallying process, as we did, so today, na salon, it made things just difficult for we, the local observers, them, even the international observers, them, because all them processes there, when we go national, the Electoral Commission will fail for display all the processes and procedures. Instead, we'll be just they look as if to say we not be part of the process. And the political parties then are part of the process. The observers then are part of the process. And international observers then, and even the electoral staff, where just the officials they were not talk about data entry, number one, number two, archiving, you know, they're a very long process. And even the observers, then we get a supervisor where they observe with the observers in back. All the one and the killing at the center. Well, if they're not identify them, then it's somehow difficult.
Okay, Juliet, thank you so very much. So before we would I now from Juliet, and it should say the recommendations where new put, where they ask the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone, whether they display the tallying procedures and processes in place. Because according to RAM, as we don't observe, during the by-elections, they project this tallying process where people are actually they don't see. But by these elections we pass now in 2023, that not happen, people go really for go observe, but they don't see anything because they don't display anything. So I feel say the recommendations that we new key in place. Then let's talk to we colleague Abdul Karim Samura. Samura, are you getting us? Mr. Samura. Okay, Samura, whilst Juliet been there at the Tallying Center at the Western area, we're at the National Tallying Center, you've been there at the Regional Tallying Center at the Northwest. And in addition to that, you said you don't observe a lot of tallying processes. So long just get, you said very the recommendation when you put. From your own perspective, observing this process now in the Northwestern region and also in other parts of the region during by elections. You feel say these recommendations be place for what really be obtained as far as the display of the processes concerned in the region.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. And me, Abdul Karim Samura, I'm the district coordinator for National Election Watch, local district. And I happen, for this is happened for being the regional headquarter, for the Northwest region. So which means, we get a regional tallying center here. And go back, I believe say the conduct of elections, it guided by the following laws. One, the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone. Two, election regulations, and three, best practice. And I believe say there were the guide, the conduct of elections and acceptance of election outcome by citizens of a country. So looking at section Section 93, subsection 1 to section 4. I mean, we clearly, I mean, they talk also how the election results management process, I mean, they operate. National coordinator, Reverend James Lai, I mean, laid the premise clearly as to how the process to go, I mean, from counting at police station to, I mean, the districts, I mean, a returning officer, to the regional returning officer, and the national returning officer. I mean, the law is clear about them, right? For instance, I mean, after we the go down, I mean, count at police station level, the police station returning officer, I mean, they give copies, I mean, of the election results to political parties and also other observers that we did it. That's what the law say. And also, when the district returning officer receive all the results, I mean, for the district, I mean, from the various, I mean, localities and within the districts, I mean, they summarize the results then they according to how they come at the police station. And what it say again, that I mean, it give a copy of that certified results day to political parties, agents them, and also other people we observe the process. The law is clear about that. And same also we go to the regional tally center. Well, I mean, in 2012, I mean, where we get 4 regions and the districts, I mean, and be just a district, returning officer will get. So, and when the result come, the district returning officer summarize all give copies, to political parties, then don't send, the copy to the regional tally center na McKinney. But I mean, the 2018 elections, we see say for the local districts and get a regional tally center. And what we see that when the tally process starts, the all the players and way Gillette Anderson don't name the data somebody from Ecsl they clearly explain the procedures as to how the tallying they go. And observers now, both national, local, and international, as also party agents, they all did it, they understand the process. Interestingly, political parties, them, where present in the they get copies of them than they. So, I mean, the Ecsl staff, they tally each and every polling station's results. And when they tally them, they display in the projector. So, now all they see how the figures they go. That is what is called transparency. In the election result management system. That's so it happened in 2018. So for 2023 elections, we see a different thing. And if some not they like the final products of of something happen, for I go accept that, it's not easy. So I clearly am told the line, with the combination, of new. Say, for let Ecsl, the display, the tallying, where the projector, everybody they see, and at the same time, give copies, of them polling stations results and lead to political parties then. Let's give one quick example. In 2017. I happened for be along among the team from Sierra Leone for go observe the Liberia elections where George Oprah win in the first time. It could be interesting and for no say there were giant billboard in strategic locations in. So whatever thing the goal in the tally process, people see the thing clearly. And when you go online, you see how the tally process they go. Also, Kenya back did the same thing. When you go online, you see the process and you see the display. That's the give credibility to the process. In fact, the official announcement you go see the opponents, don't congratulate and compensate. Yes, indeed. You won the election. That's what transparency is. In the tallying of results. So we believe say now best practice that one day. And we say the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone also be a member of other sub-regional election commission there, and they go observe and they see how they conduct the election as best practice. So I'm really happy, I mean, for where it's a new, I mean, got this recommendation here. And I believe, say, moving forward to 2028 election, I mean, let Ecsl go back, like going board, and see how they keep amend, I mean, the Public Election Act, where I feel say they will clearly capture, I mean, the issue of tallying, where it will be transparent, where everybody will see. So I think if I do a recommendation, and I will be happy if Ecsl accept that recommendation moving forward.
Okay, Samura, thank you very much. That's now Samura. We district coordinator that a lot of districts. We also don't work a lot now in the Northwestern region. So I feel say this is the time now for at least we talk to a colleague from Uganda. Henry, good evening once again.
Good evening, my brother Saliu, and thank you for having me. So,
Henry, yes, go on, please.
yeah, so as you have explained, I'm supposed to be in Uganda, but as I speak now, I'm joining you from South Africa. I have moved here to observe the South Africa elections coming up. We have an election starting the 27th, 28th, and 29th. So I'm joining you from Johannesburg, where I am to observe the election here. And of course, that is part of my portfolio because, like you introduced me earlier, I coordinate the African Election Observers Network. That means we look at elections across the continent. And of course, our mission is to make sure that we improve electoral integrity and build trust in the electoral processes. Yes.
Thank you very much, Henry. Thank you. And we happy, this is the beauty of, I mean, the solidarity that we are building around elections in Africa, for which New is very much grateful. Thank you very much for being with us. Now, you've just said, I mean, AfioNet and you, I mean, particularly, have observed election in several parts or regions of Africa, West Africa, the Horn of Africa, East Africa. So you have a wealth of experience, I understand. In fact, you observed the 2023 elections in Sierra Leone. Now we're talking about openness, especially in the tallying processes and procedures. Can you just please give us an African perspective based on your experiences across Africa?
Thank you very much. Like you have rightly put it, I was in Sierra Leone, in Freetown, during the 2023 general elections, and I observed everything. So as the colleagues were sharing, that was not new to me because I lived the experience and I know what happened. But let me start by saying that across Africa, the institutions that organize elections, the electoral management bodies, are suffering from a trust deficit. There is a credibility crisis. The citizens, the voters, no longer trust the electoral commissions as they used to. And the reason for this trust is because increasingly, electoral commissions, electoral management bodies have decided to conduct their business almost in what you can describe as darkness. Because you see, the credibility of an election is as good as the process, but that process is also as good as the result. The opacity that shrouds the management of results, and the management of results, like James was explaining earlier, after the electorate have come and cast their ballot, the men who count that ballot, the manner in which the ballot is counted, the manner in which the results are transmitted, and the manner in which those results are counted through a tally system, which is why he was talking about the tally set and explaining everything, determines the credibility of that election. And therefore, the credibility crisis we are seeing increasingly is because the electoral management bodies have not embraced transparency. And you know, we have often put the managers of electoral commissions in Africa on task. In many countries, there are no laws that prevent them from being transparent. And since there are no laws that stop you from being transparent, why can't you be transparent? Because when you are transparent and the citizens are able to see everything you have done in full transparency, then they will trust the process. Now, the electoral commissions across Africa still are struggling to understand that the most important stakeholder in every election are the citizens. It is not political parties. It is not ruling parties. It is the citizens, the voters themselves are the most important stakeholder in every election. And by extension, therefore, the citizen observers, which is why organizations such as NEW become very important stakeholder in an election. And therefore, I'm happy that NEW recommends. That recommendation is a recommendation that should be, reverberated across Africa. We need to see more transparency in how the ballots are counted, in how the results are transmitted, so that we are able to tell that the number of results that has been transmitted from the polling station is the same number that has been received at the district tally center, and that what the district tally center has sent to the national tally center is what has been received, and that nothing has been altered. Because for us, when we see the lack of transparency, we are easy to conclude that there is something they are hiding. And when there is something they are hiding, then we cannot trust the election. But we do not want, you see, Africans have tested everything. We have tested war. We have also tested democracy. We no longer want to, to change political power through violence. We have chosen as Africa peaceful means. And the only peaceful mean we know of are through elections. And therefore, the electoral management body that is supposed to be the umpire of the elections should be able to exercise do their work and exercise their mandate in a way and manner that every citizen is seeing that they have nothing to hide. So the lack of transparency has been a problem. The other thing I'm seeing across Africa is that many of them are not embracing the use of technology, because technology, like we saw in Kenya, helped to improve transparency. Of course, the Kenya election had its own frailties, but you see, the citizens were able to see the results and could access the results portal and could do the adding themselves. Never mind the final, aggregate, the final number that came out. But at least that level of transparency, it is what you want to see. That the electoral management body understands that the only way I am going to play my part in promoting and building, the integrity of an election is by exercising transparency. So transparency is something we are insisting, even here in South Africa, where I am now. We have been meeting the Electoral Commission, and one of the things we are insisting is that the citizens, the stakeholders in the election, should be able to see you exercising your duties transparently, so that the integrity and sanctity of the ballot can be protected, and so that we can build and protect the trust citizens must have in an election, because we do not want a situation where citizens have lost confidence and trust in the electoral process, because then they would resort to violence. We do not want to go back there. We want to make sure that we keep improving and building on the gains we have made. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Henry. You mentioned several times about trust deficit. And also that, the election management or election commission, electoral commissions in Africa are conducting their activities almost in darkness. How serious is this problem to Africa, and what is the impact of it to our peace, to our cohesion and development in Africa? How is this secrecy or this darkness affecting African countries?
So no, so it is affecting it negatively, because you see, the electoral process is a very important process to the citizens. Number one, it is only through an election where citizens can vote out the people, the men and that have not served their interests. But because of this opacity, we have seen in many countries where regimes have overstayed, and I'm not shy at mentioning them, where you have one regime staying in office for a long time. Countries like Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Chad, Cameroon, and many others. Because of this opacity, it is very difficult for the vote of the citizens to count. It then rests on the powers and whims of the men and women that manage the electoral management body to control the consent of voters. Now, this is a very bad precedent which we do not want to encourage, because you see, the moment citizens lose confidence in using the election to determine how they get to be governed, then all hell is going to break loose, which is why I spoke about where we were, because there was a time when in Africa, the military takeovers were as common as breakfast itself. So we do not want to go back there. We are seeing a resurgence of some of these in Francophone Africa, especially in West Africa. We do not want this to happen. We would want to encourage more and more presidents. My brother James spoke about the president of Liberia who accepted the results. We would want to see more and more political parties accepting the result. But how can political parties accept the result when the tally process has not been transparent? How can the Electoral Commission convince the protagonists in an election that the election has been credible, that what they are announcing as numbers of the result are the real numbers? And therefore, it's a recipe for disaster. But when you read the studies, the surveys conducted by Afrobarometer, you see that all is not lost, because Africans still believe in elections. So let us not abuse and play on the feelings of Africans or take them for granted. The African citizen needs better. The electoral management bodies, the managers of these bodies should perform better. Why is it that we are lacking good men and women? Why are we lacking patriots in these electoral management bodies that are able to understand that actually there is also a connection? There is a nexus between democracy and development. We want to see a better Africa that responds to the the aspirations of the young people. The reason many young people are leaving Africa and migrating somewhere, some of them becoming almost slaves, and others drowning in the Mediterranean, is because the men and women that manage the electoral management bodies have played so much on the feelings of the African people, the young Africans. The young African does not see their future in an electoral process where their vote doesn't count. The people that cast the ballot don't count. Those who count the ballot are the ones who determine, and everything that should be stopped. And I think we are calling upon the managers of electoral management bodies, including the manager of the electoral management board of Sierra Leone, to make sure that they play their role in protecting the sanctity of democracy in Africa.
Thank you very much, Henry. We'll come back to you. Now, the family will listen and will watch me. If we just join me, this is the series where the National Election Watch can do on the recommendations that will be during the elections. And today, the recommendation will be directed to the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone and Ecsl. And the recommendation they ask the Ecsl in future elections, may they make sure they display all the tallied processes as soon as the processes the way have been involved by the tally and the processes, so that let people actually see. And also do a reform brother with all the way now, supposed to be in Uganda by now. But right now, in South Africa, for who observe other elections, where it talks having citizens distrust of we institutions and structures there in already there. But if you allow somebody to look at the process, especially the tally, because like now the side way don't put, now they can't put the big pots, now they can't shape. So if everybody did then they get the opportunity for see, they go able to know what's in the board. So I'm anyhow they get, they go able to say now based on the thing within the board. So if they allow everybody see, it look like say that again they go a long way for bringing peace in African countries and for being national cohesion. So we tell and thank you. And now we'll come back to Reverend. Now from Uganda or South Africa back to Sierra Leone. Reverend, you know, after the elections, we read some people that they talk say, Lord not they we say therefore display or project the tallying process. But also we all know say all elections that they conduct them based on rules, regulations, and also best practice. So then people are they talk say, no, Lord not they we say long display, let ECSL display, let people let's see. But because taking into consideration the fact that apart from the laws and regulations, best practice also naturally you always consider when we implementing the day. What do you would tell the people and do when they make up this argument?
You see, for let you even put up arguments that the law not tell you for let you make the process transparent, don't defeat you. Because when they talk about good elections, the transparency component of that electoral process, now the first thing that they take for assess you on. And then they assess you on the accountability of that process. So for say, the law not tell me say, la display. It means they tell me say, I don't want people to foresee or participate in this process. And elections are about participation and transparency. So that they know to excuse the law not say. Not only the law we talk say, if the Electoral Commission not believe the 20 or the Electoral Commission get in view that the 2015 population census contestable, so let no user, or the 2021 midterm census was contested, let no user. Not only law tell that, but for the sake of building confidence in the electoral process, so that all will accept how the process will go. The Electoral Commission will talk say, the law not tell me say I do so. The Electoral Commission, in wisdom, like how Kev in talker, take the 2015, it take the 2021, it put that together, it divide. Then it say, now this figure are used. Nobody now arrested them.
Best practice.
Because now find thing they do for avert chaos and also instill confidence in the process. Additionally, all the by-elections will come before we go to the election session. That practice we do on. And you see, say, in almost all sides they show that tally, confusion will come out. Now only Kwenadugu, and what you bring the confusion, now because the figure where they display is different from the figure where the party agents get. So they say, no, that figure where you enter, they see, so the one paper where you deal with from that police station, not going that day. And in one instance, the Electoral Commission officer where they acknowledge and they change them. Why did they go on street? They see other one back were not correct. And when they don't want to change that, they now become confusion. So you see the advantage of when they show the people the figure when they enter, and they give an opportunity for audit the process. So that all man they see say, waiting come out from the polling station. Now in they continue for go. So even the problem what we get currently, it don't be supposed for them. Because if the Electoral Commission be really display the figure the way they enter, all for don't know say this result when the Electoral Commission don't announce are the correct thing because we watch, we see. But as it is, nobody even know who side the Electoral Commission pull the results who they call. Because they're not cross-check what the Electoral Commission they enter with what they get because they're not able to get an opportunity. And anytime, one thing I tell the public, elections are an instrument of peace. If you manage elections, now make the election business to get in rules and in best practice. When you follow them, however person be vexed or in time, it don't say clearly say the people that don't vote for me. It is wicked. It is wicked. But if you hide the process and then the person not see, the person definitely interpret it for me say, you don't rogue up. That the people that don't vote for her, but you don't get the vote where the people that don't vote for her. And it lead to violence. We tell God thank you, the opposition not take to violence, they decide to say they're not to participate for the governance system in the country. And that is bad. What is the grounds? They not guarantee the announcement. And they not will get the opportunity for let them see the figure the way the Electoral Commission they send, they enter by admission there for let them arrive at that total. And okay, we will not see where we will not see the figure the way they add. But now at the end of the day, make will see back the figure the way we did at the police station, the certified result they will come on at the police station. So that we'll go able to add and see if they match to this result we don't announce. Now they say they're not going to give. So it continue for let the process stay in the dark, like Henry don't talk. And as long as the process continue for day in the dark, the people are not going to be convinced about that result we don't call. And you got to clean your name. Otherwise, anything bad happening in this country, the Electoral Commission is going to be held responsible. Because that thing, where for let people be peaceful, believing that the will of the people don't prevail, you don't distort her. And so you'll be a corporate.
Okay, thank you very much. I think say we don't at least open up on the issues there. And all of the issues they will not bring to light be very important. Now, Juliet, you do a putting Reverend Donse, do a Samura, and we even do the wider African perspective on this issue they discuss. So based on all of the things that WUPSSF observed throughout the electoral cycle and through Kanama in 2023, you feel say what you see 2023 or what you see during this reporting period? Is it about loss, respect for the laws or disrespect for the laws? Is it about, best practice or, just ignoring best practice? Or is it just about willingness for law to do the right thing or not for do the right thing? So which is which? Is it the law? Is it the best practice way to know the practice the other side for respect or ignorance? Or just that we're not willing for do what you're supposed to do for letting? So which is which based on the experience?
I not say we can do better. We can do better because in by-elections, we try for see how best we will give the people in confidence through the Electoral Commission by displaying of the data, displaying of the tallying results. Why now 2023 or why general elections we get more staff, it gets more days it gets more technical people then. Why we not do that? I think say if we be trying to do that one day for be lead to more accuracy and legitimacy to the past general elections. So I think the Electoral Commission for work with all other relevant stakeholders, especially the EMBZ. This particular recommendation, about the tallying process for display the procedures, the processes. That's now one best practice. We will help or move the process forward. And I think again for say, by not displaying or by not producing the data or projecting the results they are, to make the people get, like how the man we say from South Africa, trust deficits. How people go trust you when they don't go vote. You, as a technical person, don't sit down. If they play with people, people votes. Now people votes them. People come out early morning. Now people lives them. Just my votes, my life. People come out early morning. People they vote for the economy, vote for education, vote for health welfare. Then they vote for so many things then. So you just deprive the cut them shots from people through the tallying process and avoiding the processes and procedures then. Keep people in the dark. And then the issue of trust deficits, the issue of legitimacy will come to play.
Thank you very much. Abdul Karim Samura, we all waiting because
Yes,
all the. And when you be the candle in your first inning, you bring a lot of, the law and the policies related to the conduct of elections. Now, on that discussion, they are display, not display. I look at the law. What did the law say? Is it the law adequate enough, or the law not adequate enough, or the law not even there? What did the law say with regards to this?
Yeah, thank you so much. The laws are there, right? Just like where I start, for quotes, some instruments them. The 1991 Constitution, gave, the mandate to elect the Electoral Commission for conduct elections periodically. Then you also, within, the realm of their affairs, the Constitution made provision for let the Electoral Commission, develop regulations then with the guide the conduct of elections. And I did bring in, the 2022 Public Election Act, right? But upon what we see happen in the 2023 election, and we believe, say, the laws, the laws and regulations that were into the 2022 Public Election Act not suffice. Reason being that, there are several best practices, and where we don't see, in the conduct of elections in Africa. Mark you, Sierra Leone is signatory, to the signing of the African Charter on democracy, elections, and governance. What in this charter they say? It's have for guide the African governments there, and as to how for compulsory safe allow elections for be conducted free, fairly, transparently, and be accepted by everybody. Again, in that charter, it said now that no country so far in Africa for change the election result within 6 months of the election to the conduct of elections. And we all see what happened. The change of system, from constituency, to the PR, right? And we all see, the Buhaha will happen. So moving forward, we believe, say, the laws, the regulation quite a way, it not even suffice for we conduct an elections where go be trusted by people, by citizens there, where definitely, then the benefactors, of those elections. Now we get a system, now we get a laws system where, we can develop with all sincerity. We think as Sierra Leoneans, and also think about independence. Just like, I mean, we talk about, say, we election managers then, I mean, they're not get restriction, I mean to transparency. So why can't you use your independence, to do the correct thing? So moving forward, me, I strongly believe, say, as we move forward, when we get lost them, we clearly they explain how the counting of results from polling station to districts to regional and national, go be open, where everybody go see them and accept, even without the national returning officer announcing it. So I just want to see if we buy elections, then we happen. We have it right by displaying. The tallying. Even the last election we happen. In constituency 073 Akoya, we will observe. We see enjoying the tally process and what happened, and the outcome was widely accepted. So why can't we stick to that one day? So for long, like what Reverend say, the outcome of elections then can make a peace reign. But again, at the same time, the outcome of elections, if not the correct way how citizens matter for be. So we have to see. In the next coming election, let ECSL wholeheartedly, I'm taking into consideration this recommendation. We new recommendation, and I believe say if they do that's go add further to the cap. Because right now, there is that distrust between those state institutions and the citizens. Then, and we believe say that no be helpful. For we in terms of governance at the country.
Thank you very much. Now, Henry, one of our viewers sent a question with regards rebuilding citizens' trust. And since citizens' distrust on EMBs is an Africa-wide problem, I want to start the discussion with you. Then maybe your other colleagues on the panel will come in. Now the question says, how can we rebuild citizens' trust in both tallying in a polarized and highly suspicious electoral commission? So let's start from you. How can we do that?
Thank you very much. It is important for the chairpersons of electoral management bodies to understand that whatever they do in those offices has a direct bearing on the integrity of the election, and that the credibility of any election is dependent on how they choose to execute their mandate as electoral umpires. Now, the only way you are going to restore and rebuild the trust of the citizens is if you show them what you are doing. If you get to be transparent, if people have come and cast their ballot and they have been present at the polling station when the votes are being counted, they should see how you are, adding and aggregating and tallying those results. It must be understood by the electoral commissions across Africa that you see electoral integrity cannot, is not something that does not have a basis. The foundation of electoral integrity is the conduct of the election itself. That since the citizens are the most important stakeholder in any election, it's important that they see that the way you conduct your mandate, the way you exercise your jurisdiction, you do your work, is one that is devoid of any grain of doubt. We have seen electoral commissions, and citizens have always argued that their electoral commissions are captured by the ruling parties. The only way that citizens are going to confirm that the electoral commission is independent of the electoral of the ruling party in Africa is if they see that there is independence. For example, all those electoral commissions in Africa have websites. What stops them from posting results on their websites so that every citizen that wants to verify can check them and get them? Because those results are not for the Electoral Commission. Those results are not for the ruling party. Those results are for the citizens, because it is the citizens that participated and conducted that election. It is the citizens that voted. It is the citizens that the Electoral Management Body serves. And therefore, it has to start there. So it's going to be difficult. But I should also mention that sometimes it is, we live in a society in Africa that is also dishonest. And I can understand that electoral commissions across the Africa are struggling to organize a credible election in a dishonest society. But that notwithstanding, this does not stop them from exercising their mandate in a transparent manner. For example, we suffer now in Africa from an epidemic of declining voter turnout. And the reason we have declining voter turnout is that elections no longer matter. A lot of citizens do not see their ballot counting. And how is it that we are not able to hold personally accountable those chairpersons of electoral commissions? I think the time has come that we as the citizens who own this election, on which the decisions impact, because the decision of any bad election, the decision of an opaque election impact on us, the citizens. You know why? Because if one of the parties is disappointed and disgruntled, and they choose violent means, it's us, the citizens, that are going to face the brunt of the guns that will be blazing, of the disappointment, of the services that will be altered, the innocent men and women. And therefore, I think we as citizens have now to rise and get our voices and pressure to bear on the men and women that are appointed to manage and lead the electoral commissions, to understand that we will hold them accountable. Because it seems we have not made our voice clear to the electoral commission, that you see, you are not only answerable to the appointing authority, you are answerable to us as citizens. And therefore, it's important that citizens appreciate and understand. But they should also, citizens should understand that, you see, the closest to the citizens should be now able to identify easily with the citizen observers. Because in some jurisdictions in Africa, you get to see that there is a disconnect between citizen observers and citizens themselves. They have not appreciated the role that organizations such as NEW are playing as citizen observers, because they are the ones that are permanently engaging on the governance issues in the country. They are the ones that are at the cold face of reforms. They are the ones that speak for the citizens. And therefore, citizens have to understand and appreciate that at the very least, they should be seen to be rallying behind citizen organizations that are working on democracy. So if that gets to be done, then perhaps the men and women that manage the electoral commissions will understand that actually there is a bigger voice, a stronger voice, a bigger population that is thinking alike, and that is pushing that we want to hold you accountable, and is also trying to ask questions, that is rallying behind citizen organizations such as NEW to demand that the electoral commissions become more transparent, because that transparency is owed to the citizens, not to the appointing authority. Over to you, my brother.
Thank you very much. The family, we're going and we don't talk so many important things them as well. But the basic thing is that people are want to be, because the leaders or the institutions they would entrust with the responsibility for conduct elections, therefore be accountable to the citizens because a citizens process. And one way, and the most important way, them will be accountable to we, if they allow it for law to see how the process they go. That itself now accountability mechanisms. Now, very well, you don't have everything and we don't say with regards the issue of how they try to restore, this trust to the citizens, because this trust not again, let the citizens begin trust their institutions, they will be the responsibility for do so. And I'm not saying when you make these recommendations, you may display these things to political parties, international, domestic observers. Now, we can even also get the aspect of the citizens, when are the most important stakeholder for the elections. Now, how you feel say the citizens they also will even be part of it, will they even see the process, how it will go on with regards to even what's happening in Liberia. So if we even then at the village level, or you know, even they send at the Tally Center where na socio-political heads and observers today. But as a citizen, you get the rights for letting you know what they happen. How you feel say that could be achieved?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamara. You see, it's not very difficult for them to achieve that kind of thing if we get honest commissions. When the Electoral Commission is professional and very sincere in the discharge of the responsibilities, it will make a big difference. I will give you an example of what I see. I observed Nigeria election, I think 3 or 4 elections back, when Professor Jika now be the chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission of Nigeria. That man, just by himself, without consultations, he postponed elections for a few days. And let me tell you, all political parties, because I've been there at the ground and will go and visit political parties for find out from them what they feel about that postponement. Each and every one of them, they say, but for Professor Jiga, we would not have accepted. But for Professor Jiga, we would not have accepted. But all of them, the ruling party, the main opposition, they accepted. That tells you that Professor Jika don't prove the integrity to the level that if they take a decision, even when it is against people, but if you say it take in the best interest of the country. Now that's not the cornerstone for them to establish trust in the processes. We therefore make sure say when they appoint you to positions where require state function, we exhibit that level of integrity where they make the public they look at we and assess we in a manner where they appreciate we and accept anything where would they see, where would they do, where even if they don't consult. Let us just draw your attention to one fact and salute. Constituency 010. Now, one constituency that they will be get more than 1 rerun elections. After the very elections, general elections, when they notify that constituency, they get that by election, they notify them, they do a rerun again. It can't be top now. They appoint Commissioner Connell as the chair of the Electoral Commission. He conducts the election. He puts in place rules and regulations. And he stands by those rules and regulations. Even though confusion may be happy here and there, but everybody accepted the outcome of that election. And everybody be proud of Commissioner Connell for say constituency will not prove very challenging and difficult. and they're able to conduct election bill, and people accept that. So that's an indication that people do not get bias in the evaluation of people and in the evaluation of processes. And let me tell you, even the June 24th elections, even though there were hiccups about the distribution of election materials to polling stations, especially the concern that who side the material that they come out, and they be suffer hardest for receive materials in polling stations. But the process will go on in a manner where people then will get confidence in. Say to the county at the polling station level, people will get confidence and trust. The damage happened when it came out to the collation for put together all the results there from the various polling stations in the country, now the districts, now the regions. Now then the problem come out. And what's it come with the problem? They don't display the figure there where they enter. And as observers, we bring that to the attention of the commission. We say this is not fine. No one good begin. Make that people they see figures when they enter. So that they're able for cross-checker with the data where they say that. And if you do that there and then they cross-check and then they see say the data when they enter and then they get. Anything where they come up with, nobody know they able to talk. But then they just appreciate and accept. But then the commission get back to us and say, the law not tell us, say, now so they forgot. Whose kind of law now, what you want? Well, every law about elections, they stress the importance of transparency. Now, I don't bring we, now this what aside, where so much country resources are now being spent on the tripartite committee for investigating process, which came off fairly very well, but then was destroyed at that point.
Thank you very much, Reverend Pambulem, who said how important this process is, and why, in fact, now we all responsibility as citizens for make sure say we going forward, then challenges there will get them off the way. Now, Juliet, you not be go Liberia, but I feel say don't shy a whole lot of things that will happen in Liberia. And we also do a reform. Reverend, in fact, Reverend, they did it for a period of over 4 months. He did it as a long-term observer. So you see everything from start to finish. And we all see how transparent and how open, where in fact they even get some giant screens and stuff now different parts of the city where whether I go now, you not go now, in the daily, in able to see how the process will go on. And I even understand, say even some EMBs from Sierra Leone, there's a day, on the African solidarity. So you notice less is the way the ECS Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone for land for what happened, especially even the way the reference is very reverently, even before the elections be done. The other party don't even know now say I don't lost. You know it for we apologize for the short break. We get power outage, what they call blackout. But at least we don't try now for restore. So very sorry for that short break thing. Say Juliet, as I say, is there anything where you say Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone for land from the just concluded election in Liberia? Because we don't want to go too far. We want to get example when they close to it. Is there any lesson?
Yeah. So there are so many lessons then for land. Because I'm in Liberia when they get the elections. However, trust requires greater transparency. The institution for being independent, I think say for work for the people, they work for government of the day of our opposition party. Work for the people of Sierra Leone because you suppose for big Comra You for the middle. So it should be neutral, it should be independent. Then provide clear and accessible information to the people. Not discourage dissenting voices. There are times when we can ask for information. They say, oh, they are not this, they are not this. Some critical information okay ask for. Forget the answer. It is very difficult. So the advice, the Ecsl, put me down on wait to the back. So then not discourage me, dissenting voices. Therefore, listen, therefore seek, therefore understand, therefore take full responsibility for the actions. And we pray. And we tell them again, say, let them ask what is needed so we know get a reoccurrence of waiting happens.
Thank you very much, Juliet. So you can say goodbye to family, listeners, and viewers.
Me family, I want to tell you plenty thank you. And I want to tell the National Election Watch, thank you una continue for listening to National Election Watch, where they bring una with good recommendations then out of the 2023 electoral cycle, where we be done the observe and Sierra Leone. Thank
you very much. Abu Karim Samuel. Waiting on
Yeah.
your final. Make your final statement very snappy and goodbye to the viewers and listeners.
So for me, I mean, accountability, it not mean say, I mean, the process be credible. You can be accountable, but you're not transparent. When it's transparent, I mean, the way you do something openly, I mean, people are able to see what you do and accept the outcome. That's where, I mean, that's where you become transparent and accountable to, I mean, the actions, right? So for me, I just want, I mean, for the Ecsl take their recommendations in good faith, so that, I mean, we will improve on the way how to conduct elections, and more especially, I mean, so how they manage, I mean, the tallying, the tabulation of results, I mean, they happen, I mean, the regions and national at large. So I really want to appreciate, I'm new, I mean, with this civic educational way they give citizens, and I believe, I mean, it's good that, I mean, people are learning, and people understand how processes are, I mean, they go. So I thank you all.
Thank you very much. Henry, let me thank you for your insights. Thank you, and stay safe whilst observing the election in South Africa. Your final statement and your goodbye, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. My final statement is that the electoral management, the chairperson of the electoral management body must be helped to understand the nexus between a credible election and national development, because an election is not done for election's sake. It has to be connected to national development. I thank you for having me. Thank you. It's been a pleasure and honor for me to participate in this discussion. Good evening.
Thank you. Reverend, the final word.
Yeah, thank you very much, Salu. You see, electoral commissions can go with the misconception that election observer organizations, then they go for undermine the processes. That's not it. We they observe elections for provide support for the electoral commissions, the work where they do. Because we know say, now contest, when you want the contest, now do all right. That's why the independent voice is necessary after when the electoral commission will not come out. But we will only do that day when they collaborate and we will see through the process. And I want to let the public know that National Election Watch, not there in isolation, not to an island of itself. National Election Organization, now part of sub-regional, regional, and global election observer organizations. And National Election Watch, they hold key positions in those organizations. So we learn plenty skills, we get plenty expertise, we will be of immense help and support to the Electoral Commission, because the people where they deal with are people who are slippery. And now one focus they get if we go towards the disadvantage. If you not go to the disadvantage, party don't know. Therefore, the Electoral Commission, not for the SIWI as anti and move away from we, but the need for them also consult between for them to collaborate, because apparently we all get the same objective for them to get an election where credible, it get integrity, and the outcome accepted by all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Reverend, and we want to thank the viewers and listeners. And as Reverend and the National Election Watch, not to an island, we belong to different citizens observer groups across Africa and the world. And in some of them, we will play a leadership role. For instance, AfriNet, the chairman, the chairman of AfriNet, the African Election Observation Network, Observer Network. Now we own Reverend James Lahai, who should also be talk. We are the national coordinator of NEW. Now in the head of this now African body for the whole of Africa. In fact, now they will get angry. We presently in the Uganda where they on service in South Africa, but still find time. So you will even see the solidarity and the high regard with which they hold NEW now the African region and the world at large. So I want to thank you very much for the time and patience for listening to me and to the discussant or panelists. I want to say a big thank you to Reverend James Lahai, for say a big thank you to Juliet Anderson, who is our expert and Tallying Center. We want to also thank Mr. Samura, Abu Karim Samura, will be all the way from Bukloko, but even with the bad thing, he able to get a very clear line throughout the discussion. So thank you. So in the studio, we also get our colleagues. They are always handy. They always there around. So you get, Charles can provide. We in the winner the program officer for NEW. So in the retreat. So in the make this you get. Jalo we make like this year meet with all because in the behind the machine and we have badware. We are the quality assurance officer. Above all, let me say a very big thank you once again to our colleague and brother from afar. Even though the distance is in between, but they are always with us. At any time we meet them, they are always ready to be with us. So we appreciate and we thank you very much. And please start preparing reverence on the way. Thank you. So until we meet again next time. Now, me, we moderate the program, Salim Kamara, we now, spokesperson for National Election Board. So I thank you now. We'll see you again on Friday. Bye-bye.